What do you have any foods you associate with home?
Mm-hmm.
Please explain.
Rajma.
Okay. Will you tell us what that is?
So it's kind of like chili, but from India.
Okay. Anything else?
Probably rice.
What food do you associate with home?
Almond bread, burritos, and good food.
Okay. Do you have any foods you associate with home?
I mean, we eat a lot of rice. Although I don't really like rice that much anymore because we eat so much rice. Yeah, but yeah, I don't really know though.
Do you have any foods you associate with home?
Tofu.
Okay.
And my mother's mac and cheese.
Okay. Um. Hi, I'm Aiden, and I'm the person behind this amazing, top-notch quality documentary. All right, somewhere Lisa snuck in the documentary part. I was originally just gonna make a dish a few times, get some footage, and make some recipe cards, and then chill and read on my Chromebook. But apparently, it takes less than 8 weeks to do that. So I made this. When Lisa told us the prompt for this project phase, creating something about a sense of place, I already knew that I wanted to do something with food. And Dukra Maas was one of the first things that came to mind. Probably because it's tasty and all that. But Lisa's probably going to make me retake this if I don't add, like, I did it because of history. So Dukra is also important to me because my family makes it on special occasions like Easter and Christmas. But my family in India makes it on occasions in general, like people coming over for any reason. Bam! Birthdays, bam! Well, you get the point. I actually got to make the dish, and you're going to see some footage of that later. It's a time lapse, so it's not a full school day of footage, luckily. So that was fun. And you're about to see a bunch of footage of my parents, which was so long, so I cut it down and stuff like that. So you're welcome in advance. Trust me, you will be welcome. Hi, Roshan and Cheryl. Can you please introduce yourself?
I'm Cheryl Dessa. I'm Aiden's mom.
What do you do?
I'm an interior designer.
I'm Roshan Dessa. I am Aiden's dad, and I'm an engineer.
And where are you from?
So my parents are from India. I grew up in the Middle East. My parents are from a small place in India called Mangalore. It's in the state of Karnataka. But I grew up in Abu Dhabi and then came to the US to go to college.
And you, Roshan?
I am from India, so born and raised in Bombay, and just like Cheryl, my parents are also from Mangalore, which is, like she said, it's a small city in the state of Karnataka, India, and yeah, that's where I was born and raised, and I've been in the United States since 1998.
Can you please tell me the origins of Dukra Mas in your family and in the world?
Okay, so in the world, it goes back to when the Portuguese came to India and colonized a small part of India. So they started in Goa and they colonized it and tried to convert people to being Catholic. And I think, and they brought their culture with them. So they brought their love of pork with them, and that just got adopted by all the people that became Catholic, which is, our ancestors.
Why does our family make Dukra Mas on holidays to do with Jesus, like Christmas and Easter, for example?
It's just a dish that we cook for every celebration, not necessarily religion. Religion just happens to be a big part of our lives. So Christmas is a big deal, Easter is a big deal.
So it's cooked whenever we are celebrating, whether it is birthdays, whether it is weddings, whether it is any happy occasion that deserves a celebration or begs a celebration, and you invite people or you do it for yourself, right? You make Dukra Maas to share it with people. Dukra Maas seems to be the favorite in the Mangalorian community.
Can you please tell me why Dukra Maas is important in our family?
So it's always been a big part of my family growing up. It was always on the table for every celebration, whether religious or a birthday or a graduation, or like no matter what the occasion, there was always Dukra Maas on the table. It's very like culturally significant to where we come from. We're like a minority in India, and it's something that makes us like sort of binds the community, and it's something that I wanted to pass on to Aiden.
For the Mangalorian community, pork is what kind of uniquely identifies them, and it is prepared in every celebration, prepared for every celebration, and just like any other Mangalorian family, it is a quintessential part of our celebration too. So yeah, that's why it's important to us as a family, as a part of our celebration. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Can you please tell me about the first time you ever had Dukra Maas that you remember?
I'm not sure exactly how old I was, but I was really young, like maybe 6 or something. And there was a wedding in our family, and I just remember seeing these huge pots, almost like cauldrons of Dukra Maas being served. And it was just like I think for me, it was astounding just to see this huge vessel of pork. But after that, I mean, I have lots of memories of the family getting together to make it. There's a lot of chopping involved in it, and everyone kind of shares a little bit, like, you know, dad, mom, the kids are involved in peeling the garlic and chopping the onions, and everyone's kind of pitching in because it's very labor intensive to make it.
How about you, Roshan?
I think I do remember when I was a kid, where my mom would, you know, probably when I was like maybe 4 or 5 years old, where she would, you know, feed me, pieces of it, and with a lot of enthusiasm, because it was such such an important part of our culture and cuisine.
Okay, before we go, do either of you have anything you would like to add about Dukra Maas?
Yeah, I do want to mention that the best Dukra Maas is always made with a lot of fat. So the using the pork belly in the pork is a big part of having good Dukra Maas. Like when the fat just sort of like melts and gets into the curry.
Oh wait, I disagree about that fat. It tastes better with meat.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like all kids grow up hating the fat, and then you just get accustomed to that taste, and when there's no fat, you realize that it's really not that good. And that's just, I mean, that's like every kid's sort of like evolutionary way of discovering good Dukra Maas.
In terms of just the whole prep of Dukra Maas, and we talked about it in a previous question, but it does involve a lot of chopping, because you're taking the meat, which is cutting into small pieces. There's a lot of onion that goes in there, there's a lot of garlic that goes in there, a lot of ginger that goes in there. So it's a lot of chopping, and it takes some effort to prep for the meal, but once you kind of put it all together, there is very little attention that you give to it. It is very labor intensive up front before it goes on the fire, but once it's on the fire, it is you kind of let it slow cook for a long period of time. It is one of those unique dishes where there is no constant attention given to it once it is on the fire.
Alright, well, unless you guys have anything else to add, I think that is it. Thank you so much for doing this interview, and you've helped a lot on my project, and I really appreciate it. Have a good night. Here are the ingredients used in Dukra Maas. Here is the pork. Usually it's around this amount of pork, like 5 pounds, and chopped into smaller pieces. There's a lot of fat because fat melts in the dish and adds a lot of flavor. Here are the vegetables. There's a lot of onion, garlic, and ginger to match the amount of pork and to add more flavor. Here are the whole spices. We have the tamarind, we have the cinnamon leaves, we have the cinnamon, and we have the black pepper, cloves, and cardamom. The tamarind is a pulp made from the fruit. Here we have the ground form of the spices. The dish is actually called pork bafat, but our family calls it Dukra Maas, which means pork meat. Yeah, okay. Usually you take a piece of bread, like that. And
That's not. You put it on the table, boy.
No, you do that.
Nice. So you use the bread as your utensil. Awesome. Aiden, this is the first time you've made it totally on your own. What do you think?
I think it turned out fine.
Actually, that's great. I want your feedback. Like, what do you guys think?
It's very tasty.
It's really
9 out of 10.
smells good. Okay. I think it's very spicy. I give it smells. I think it's kind of low level amount of spice. I give it a 10 out of 10 bite smell.
10 out of 10 smells for sure. I'm with you, Weston.
10 out of 10 smells.
Weston, do you want a piece of bread?
9 out of 10 taste.
Weston and I are gonna get a snack.
And
I just need to finish
3 out of 10
this.
slice.
Half step, do you like die?
No, I liked it. I thought there was a little too much ginger though, because that was like the main thing I was tasting. Might have been the intended effect. I didn't like it that much, and it could have been a little spicier, but it was good overall.